Hey YouTube, Team Megadeath here, back with another video, and today, this is actually going to be a tournament match between Wargreymon X and DarkKnightmon. I'll be playing Wargrey on the left, and Kevin, as per usual, will playing DarkKnightmon on the right. So we're going to roll to start here, and Kevin actually rolled higher, so he'll be starting first. I actually like playing this matchup a lot, even though it can be a little bit difficult. DarkKnightmon just has a lot of amazing tools, such as replenishing blockers and also memory floodgates like the Chumon that he just evoed on top of. So he's going to play the Chikuri here, just to play out another body to potentially swing for the next turn. I'm going to evo into the Agumon that gives you plus 2000. Sorry for the glare. This is going to be at a local, so it's going to be tough to adjust the lighting here. But I'm going to play an Agumon from BT5 to search the Wargreymon X. Just to get another body so it can chip next turn. And then I'm going to play the Red Memory Boost, and I'm going to add the ideal Greymon that gives you Sec +1. For my champion. So I'm going to put the rest of the bottom, and Kevin's going to raise the Chumon, swing with the Chikuri, hits into the EX1 Greymon. I was really hoping to get that eventually. It's a very good card against this matchup, and he's just going to hard slam the Skull Knightmon on board. I'm going to swing at security. I hit into the Immortal Ruler. It just adds to hand, and I'm just going to evo into the Sec +1 champion that I got from last turn. He's going to get Evo on top of the Chikuri, swing with the Skull Knight into the Agumon. It dies, and then he's going to pass turn by Evoing the original DarkKnightmon for 3, passing me to 2. Now, I can't pop the boost because he has the Chumon now, so I can't Evo into a Ultimate. So I'm deciding whether or not I can do anything to the board state. If I don't raise out the stack, he can potentially swing for 2 checks and then swing with the Chikuri, and I'll be very behind. I only have 1 security left, and that's kind of tough. So I decided to raise the stack here to try to answer the board state. Now, I'm going to play out a Cool Boy to search, but I already have that Greymon in hand. I mainly played the Cool Boy to proc the Alterius effect that I'm going to play later. Go into the Greymon X to get a memory, get a draw. Since it's a Tamer, Chumon can't affect the Cool Boy proc. Now, I'm going to swing over the DarkKnightmon. It has 7k, but the Agumon and Harrigan gives me 2, and the Greymon X is 6, so it's 8k, so it swings over it, and then that DarkKnightmon plays out the Skull Knight, and then I'll go into the Alterius for 3 to pop either the Skull Knight or the Chumon. I decided here to pop the Chumon, but I was deciding whether or not to pop the Skull Knight, because eventually he'd use it at the Digicross, but I popped the Chumon so that I can gain value off of the Red Memory Boost in the future. He's going to raise the Chikuri, swing at security. It dies to the Agumon, and then he reveals 1 to add 1. Now, I had a really good feeling here that he didn't have the Digicross DarkKnightmon. If he did, it'd be very bad, but just based on how he's playing in the early game, I thought that he had it. Like right there when he played the Skull Knight Digicross, I thought that he popped my board, but he actually didn't have it, and he was actually looking for it. So if he had it there, I feel like I would be very behind. But since that I had a really good feeling he didn't have it, that's why I raised the stack anyways. Hits into Cool Boy, allows me to search. I think I'm going to add the Metal Greymon here. I already have the Wargreymon X in hand, so I'm just going to add the Metal Grey. It's definitely more important that I have that than the other one. Now he's going to play the Monidamon, adds the definitely adds the Nene here, and then potentially adds a Skull Knight. There's the Digicross one and the Cavalier, so he's going to add the Digicross one. I'm going to restand my board and then draw for turn, hatch an egg. So now that I know that he has the Nene in hand, I have to be able to gain as much advantage as I can right now, because once he plays it down, most of his DarkKnightmons and Twilights will get blocker. So, but right here, if I swing at security, I won't be able to have, he potentially could have lethal for next turn. So in the back, I go into a champion, and then I'm deciding, like here, I was decide, should I swing at security? Should I try to answer his board, try to board clear a little bit? And so here, if I swing in security, there could be a good chance that he gets rid of my stack. So I think here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a search just to have more bodies on the field, and potentially, having a red memory boost on field is great, but if he hard slams another Chumon, I won't be able to use it again, so I want to use it as soon as possible to gain advantage. Go into the Megadeath X to proc the Cool Boys to get 2 draws. And then here I put the X antibody underneath off screen, and then I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to swing in security. So I'm going to swing, and I'm actually going to swing at the DarkKnightmon. This was a very good choice here for me, as you'll see in the future what that top security card was. Swing, go into Wargreymon X, draw for when attacking. I forgot to draw on Evo, but at the end of the attack, I'm just going to pop the other, I think it was other DarkKnightmon, whatever that other body was. So now he's down to 1 body, and he's down to 2 memory, so he can only play the Nene here to pass to 1. And then he's going to add the Digicross DarkKnightmon. So next turn, I know that one of my bodies will be popped. And so I'm going to raise here. I actually the reason why I raise here is because I actually have enough memory to go up the stack and not be worried about it being popping for next turn, because the Cool Boys give me 2 memory. So I'm set at 3. And 3 is really perfect to go into the ultimate. I'm going to go into Altaris to pop that Monita. It had piercing anyways, but I just want to pop it off the board so that it gives the stack a little bit more protection. Also, evoing for free twice for the Altaris, and the Megadeath X lets me cycle a little bit. So we're going to swing, get 1 draw. Also supposed to get a draw for evoing, but it doesn't really change too much in terms of what I was looking for. So he's gonna hit I'm gonna hit the ultimate flare. I'm very glad I didn't swing at security earlier, because my board state would be very, very behind. But revealing 1, I gain back 2 because of the Wargreymon X, and then he's gonna digivolve the smaller stack, and I'm gonna hit 2 more security because I had 3 checks, and sets me back at 0, which is perfect. Now it was very smart by Kevin to ultimate flare that stack, because I actually don't have enough memory to go to double evo on that stack, and so next turn it's guaranteed to be popped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing, get a draw, and then go into Megadeath X. I know it's going to be popped, so might as well get that last security in, and then I gain 1 from trashing or revealing that security. So he's at 1. He's going to swing with the Chikuri, hits into Greymon, it dies, and then he's only at 2 memory, so all he can do here is just play the DarkKnightmon blocker. It'll have 2 blocks, but it will definitely save him. And here, I'm just drawing more cards, but it didn't really matter too much because I'm just gonna swing and then Omnimon X to bottom deck it and then swing for game. So it was very lucky of me to make the right choices, to not swing at security, swing at the board, raise the stack when I had to. A lot of Wargrey players think that you need to keep the stack in the back and then go for lethal once you have the perfect stack, but you need to be able to bring out the stack to be able to cycle and also take advantage of the board state if you can and when you can. So very fortunate that I brought out the stack and was lucky enough that he didn't have the DarkKnightmon X or the DarkKnightmon. So here I'm going to reveal search. I don't have a champion to evo on top of aside from the Greymon X, so I add the Megadeath X here. Even though the BT5 Greymon would have been great, Megadeath X is definitely more important in this matchup, because if he were to digivolve the Megadeath X, most likely behind it will be Altaris mode or another Megadeath, so he won't be able to bop the stack, but also I can always evo on top of that Megadeath again. But here he's just gonna evo up in raising and then play the Moninamon to search. So here I'm just gonna go into the Greymon X here. I know you can't see it, but sorry for the glare, but it's gonna be a Greymon X, and I think there was an Agumon X at the bottom as well. So here I'm gonna evo into Altaris mode. Even though I evo into the Altaris mode because I know for next turn I'll have a good amount of memory to work with to evo into a Mega, and so due to the red memory boost, and now he hits into the Cool Boy, it's guaranteed me a lot of memory. So I'm gonna draw for turn here. I'm gonna raise the stack. No Chumon, thank God. So I'm gonna pop the Memboost to go into a champion. But I mean Mega. But before I do, I'm just gonna go into Megadeath X. Proc the Cool Boy, get one draw, gain one memory. Pop the Memboost now, and I don't have Wargreymon X, but I actually have the B21 Wargreymon. Now B21 Wargreymon gives me a +1 check, and then the Megadeath gives me a +1 check. So this stack currently has 3 checks, but it only has 14k. So if I swing into security and it hits something 14k or more, the stack will die. So I ended up putting X antibody underneath and then swinging with Omnimon X. So I'm going to swing here at security, get one draw, and I'm going to go into Omnimon X. I'll bottom deck the DarkKnightmon, so it won't get any on deletion effects to play out 2 bodies. And here I decided whether or not I want to put X antibody back in the deck or the Mega. So I actually put the Mega because I have another Greymon in hand. So if you were to digivolve the Omnimon X, I can reuse the X antibody to go into another Wargrey. So 3 checks it right there. It was definitely a Zord, and I think Zord is enough DP to delete the BT1 Wargrey, so it was a right call by me to go into the Omnimon X. If not, Kevin most certainly would have had this game. So plays the Nene to search. And then I think here he's assessing the threat that is Omnimon X. So if I were to swing here, I could bottom deck the X antibody to trash the security and go for game. So what I can do, so he has to find a way to get rid of the Omnimon, so he's gonna Immortal Ruler here. I did not know that he had the DarkKnightmon in trash, so he's gonna go into DarkKnightmon, Digicross, and then digivolve my board. But he will pass turn here to 3. So I'm gonna draw for turn, hatch, go into the rookie. In this matchup, it's really important to Evo enough so that DarkKnightmon doesn't pop the stack. And if they do, you need to be able to know when to bring out the stack and what threats you have on the board so that it can answer your threats. So here, I'm going to play an Agumon to search for a Wargreymon X. I don't hit there, but it does give me good cycle. Here I'm going to go to Agumon. I get 2 draws off of the Evo and the Cool Boy, and I add another 2. Like I said, you know, this deck with the Agumons, it really helps you find the pieces you need to deck thin. So I go into the Wargrey X here. I actually draw the Wargrey, the X1 Wargrey, and then I draw the Wargrey X off of the Evo. So when attacking, since I have the Tamer, I can pop the DarkKnightmon X. He's going to play out a SkullKnightmon, and it allows him to search. I'll go into the Wargrey X here, and he's going to block with the Monidamon. At the end of the attack, I'll pop the other board. So bottom decking the other Mega earlier was definitely the right call. Just so that I can go into the other Megas and answer his board state. So he brings out the Chumon. He's at 4, plays the Monida. I don't think he has the DarkKnightmon that digicrosses, so he just got it off that search. And so he's going to bottom deck the rest of the cards. So here I do have a stack in the back, but if you were to play the DarkKnightmon and digivolve something, if he digivolves the big stack, then it goes back to the EX1 Wargrey that deletes a blocker on attack. So he's gonna digicross here, and I think he plays out the SkullKnightmon that gives you the plus check to the sources of the DarkKnightmon, which he does right here. And then he's gonna digivolve the Agumon and pop it, which is definitely the right call here. Just because if he digivolves the other guy, I could potentially pop 3 again or 2, and so sets me to 3. I'm gonna raise the stack here. Let's see what I do. I think I go into the Greymon that gives you a +1 check, and then and to the Greymon X. I think here I know that I can go for some type of board clear, and so I go into the Greymon X to gain 1 memory and 1 draw. So currently my Greymon X antibody has 8k if it swings, and the DarkKnightmon only has, I think, 7k. So if I were to swing, he could block with the Monida or the Dark Knight and then the Dark Knight would play another body. But if I were to swing again, I would be able to, he would block, and then I could pop another blocker. And so here I'm deciding whether or not to swing with the Greymon or the Wargrey. I think I'm asking if the Skull Knight would play out anything else. And so I'm going to swing with the Greymon, get a draw for attacking because of the Cormon egg. I think here he doesn't decide to block, and he's going to let the check go through. Yep. And so I can't get the memory off because of the Chumon with the Wargrey effect. And so I'm going to swing. He's going to block with the Monita, and then at the end of the attack, I'm going to pop the DarkKnightmon X, and it will play out another Skull Knightmon. Does a search. And then here, I go into the Altarius. Since I have a Tamer, the effect will proc, and I'll pop the other Skull Knight. So it doesn't really matter if he has another Darkknightmon in hand, because I know he'll be able to play the Dark Knight to pop the Altarius, but it doesn't matter too much, because now I can restand with the Wargrey, and then potentially pop. He'll block, and I'll pop another body. So I'm going to go into a small stack in the back. So I'm going to swing with the Wargrey. He has to block here, plays out the Skull Knight, and then at the end of the attack, I will pop the Skull Knight, and then go into Omnimon for game. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know this matchup could be very volatile between Wargrey and Dark Knight. Me and Kevin know our decks very well, so it's always fun to play, especially in a tournament setting where it's a little bit more competitive. But if you like this video, please comment, like, or subscribe for more Team Megadeath content, and we hope to see you guys soon. Team Megadeath out. Bounce!